Happy birthday if it's your birthday. Happy belated birthday if it's in the past. Happy future birthday if it's in the future. My name is Lime Green, and welcome back to the How to Die podcast. Oh, it's been like a million years. I bet you're wondering what's been going on. I left you at the Deku Palace, and it's not even that long until the Woodfall Temple. What's been going on? I bet you're not too good at video games, aren't you, Lime Green? A lot of things happened. We'll just start at what happened last time. So, I played a little bit since last time. I found out, the monkey, he gives you or he would have given you, what's the words? The melody, and the other monkey's like, hey, you gotta free my friend. And he was gonna be eaten, and I need the magic beans. And then I put the game down, and then I didn't touch it for a long time. For a couple reasons. Because I'm like, alright, well, what if I don't play up to the palace? And what do I do then? How do I wrap up the episode? Do I just say, oh, I just talked to a bunch of guys this episode? How do I convey that to you? What's a good episode? How do I translate episodes to you guys? And then Tears of the Kingdom came out. So, you gotta jump on that. And already, people are putting up videos that are like, Tears of the Kingdom, more like Tears of the Kingdom. They're already making Tears of the Kingdom out like it's the worst game ever. So, I played Tears of the Kingdom, but I didn't beat it. Because I wanted to... I couldn't have it on my conscience that I didn't beat Majora's Mask. And, then my power went out. Like, all these things happened. And then, so I really had a great opportune time to play 3DS games. So, as you can see, I played a 3DS game. Here's a picture of me playing Majora's Mask in the dark. And I started from the very beginning, because I wanted a little refresher, and so it was out for 3 days, and, of course the tree went down on the power lines, and, completely knocked everything out. And when the power was out, I was like, hey, let's grab a Starbucks drink. Or I found a Starbucks drink way in the back in one of the cabinets, and I was like, whoa, cool. So I cracked it open. I was getting the Bomber's Notebook again. I was paying extra close attention to everything I didn't really analyze the first time. One of the bombers, they weren't even wearing a hat. They had red hair, and they all had blue caps, and that was kind of a strange detail. And then I got a grandma. She came in, and she was carrying a big bombs bag, and she's like, oh, here I am. And then a robber came in, and this guy stole the bomb bag, and I didn't know what to really do. I don't think I could do anything as Deku Link. And then I'm like, man, this is a good Starbucks drink. It was an espresso double shot. And I checked. I was like, man, Let me... something came into my... A thought came into my head. I said, let me check the date. And then I looked, and it said May 20th, 2019. And I said, oh. And I had already drank it. And then I got stomach cramps. And that was it. But other than that, it tasted normal, which, kind of worrying. I don't know. But that's how you know you can get Lime Green to do anything. Just give them Starbucks drinks. That is my weakness. So through the power of Starbucks, Sludgebucks, I managed to play all the way up till where I left off last time, and I will blame the Sludgebucks. That's going to be my excuse for using a guide a lot. I'll say the sludge went to my brain, and because I needed magic beans, but I went to the Deku scrub at the swamp house, or whatever you call it, and he's like, I'm not gonna sell you the beans unless you know how to use them. And apparently you got like, find a little secret passage, and there's like a little ogre guy down there, and he'll tell you how to use them and sell you them. So you go down there, and then you gotta navigate a little jungle area, and then that will take you to the monkey, and then he'll teach you the Sonata of Awakening, and then you play the song. Deku King is like, that's enough, and then they push you down and take the monkey away, and then from there you navigate across a little swamp walkway, and there's a little fairy area with like 17 fairies, and they're hidden in the temple, which I didn't get all those. Maybe later, I don't know. There's a bunch of armored boys in that area. They're kind of annoying because they push off the logs and stuff. And then you just play the Sonata of Awakening, and the Woodfall Temple appears right in front of you. And also, I have to say, all this you need to do in under 3 days, and that was kind of stressful. I was hoping... You'll see later on, I was hoping for a time reversal thing. That comes back into play later on. So the dungeon starts out easy with some Deku Link flower hovering. You'll go around some Skulltulas. You beat some turtles, and then there's this room with a maze, and you just push a block, light a torch, and then these moths come down. The moths are more cool than annoying. Apparently they can hurt you. And then there's this room, and it's just a dark room, and you fight some dark pose while lighting torches. But the room after this one is annoying because there's these dragonflies. You can lock onto them and shoot bubbles at them as Deku Link, but sometimes the lock on doesn't like lock on. But once they knock you down, there's these pits in the floor that'll just make you fall all the way down to the lower floors, and that's the worst, especially on the time limit. And you just go along. There's a dinosaur mini boss. He's weak to like 2 bubble attacks. which is funny. Then there's he gives you the hero's bow, and I was surprised you get the bow in the first dungeon. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever gotten a bow that early ever. Then after that, there's the frog and turtle mini boss, which that was a pretty fun mini boss. You have to like hit the frog with the arrows, and then he calls the turtle, and then you got like boop, with the turtle, go into the flower and pop up, and they give you the boss key, and then you go back to the main room, and then you have to shoot. Well, I wasn't sure what you had to do at first. There's this big flower-looking thing in the middle, and it said it was full of hot ash in the center, and I thought you had to do something with a Deku stick, and what you have to do is shoot an arrow in the center, igniting the ash. And then, this is the craziest part of this entire temple. You have to stand on the flower while it's spinning around, and you have to shoot through the fire, igniting another torch. That was crazy. With the time limit going down. That was crazy. And then, from then on, it's just like a mad dash to the boss door. Jumping from flower to flower. And then, the boss is just like a guy, with like an eye on his head. He kind of looks, he could be a yokai. Odolwa. How I beat him was, I did like this whole dungeon basically as Deku Link. But I went into one of the flowers and I just like dropped Deku nuts onto his high head, and then he fell down, and then I think I changed back to Young Link and I went whoosh, 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 whoosh. And then that was the whole fight basically. And then he leaves behind Oldwa's remains in a heart container. And then you kind of not flash back, but get a vision of a giant, and they say to call me maybe, and then they teach you the oath to order. The poison swamp clears up, and Tattle apologizes for stealing Epona and for getting us into this situation. And then you're like, oh yeah, the Deku Princess. So she's like, is there any way you could take me back to the Deku Lord or whatever? And you're like, well, I don't see anything to put you in. And then you're like, oh yeah, I can put you in a bottle, I guess. And then you go, and then you put her in a bottle. And, and then you go back to the Deku Palace, and then Deku Princess is like, oh, you're so silly. And then, they're like, at this time, I had like, probably less than a day left, and they're like, the Deku Butler has a present prepared for you. I'm like, this is this thing to rewind time, right? Right? So I save, and I go to the Deku Butler thing, and it's just a race. You gotta follow him, and it's fire, and it's water, and it's rocks. It's crazy. And I do it like a whole bunch. And if you fail once, then you can't do it again until like, or you can't, you have to start over, basically. And it's insane. So I looked up, I was like, what does he give you? And he just gives you a mask for scents or something. For smelling, a smelly mask. So I was like, alright, I can't end this video, or I can't go on the podcast and be like, oh, I didn't get it. So I saved and went back in time and beat Oldua and went to the temple and and then beat the runny thing. And here's a recap of everything I did, I guess. So all my items are Deku Nut, Deku Stick, Empty Bottle, Magic Beans, Hero's Bow. And all my masks are Deku Mask, Great Fairy Mask, Bremen Mask, and Mask of Sense. And the Picto Box, or whatever. And that's everything I have. So, that's my whole Majora's Mask experience so far. What did you think of that? Have you ever drank Starbucks like 4 years out of date? Have you ever thought the Deku Butler will give you something to rewind time? Let me know in the comments below. And hopefully next episode won't be like 6 months too late. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.